Gonna do a side yard update. This is the plant that I think a bird dropped a seed in my yard, started growing, so I thought I'd put it in the pot because I didn't know what it was. So this is what grew. It's got this little tiny leaf here that's growing. They're really pretty leaves. It's a pretty plant, and it's actually growing on the other side of my fence there. The landscapers planted it in my housing development. My zinnia is all dried out. Almost all of them are dried out. There's still a few flowers that are still nice, but most of them are this dried out. But they're still pretty even though they're dried out. Here's another one. The blooms last a really long time. My rosemary, I think it's dormant now. It's gone dormant, and this is what it's supposed to look like, I think, when it's dormant. So I might put that in my garage and see if it perks up in the spring. And this hanging pot never did have flowers, but it's still green, so I'll keep watering it. Maybe eventually it will have some flowers. This is my serrano pepper plant. It's got one growing. It looks like two. There's a couple more growing there. I think I'm going to have to transplant that or move the pot to a sunnier location. This plant here used to be a house plant in my mom's house, and it seems to be doing well outside because it's mild weather here. Where she lived, it was very hot. I don't think it would survive in the heat. And this is a bulb that's growing. I think this is going to be flowers eventually. I'm just not sure what the flower is going to look like. My, I guess this is, let me see, what was this called? The flowers are dying back now. But it looks like some are, there's still some about to bloom, so I'm not sure if it's going to survive. And there's a lot of dead snails in there. I put that borax in there because ants were trying to nest in this hanging pot. This is my, I'm pretty sure this is the ginger that I planted. This is what it looks like, but it could be bulbs. And my tomato, this yellow pear tomato, is starting to get ripe tomatoes. They have one every few weeks, but there's a lot that's going to be ripe soon. And this is my other pepper plants. I think these are, I'm not sure what variety. They might be jalapeno. I'm pretty sure they're jalapeno. Here's a tomato that's getting ripe. It's turning yellow. My tomatoes are dying back now. This is what happens. The leaves starts drying up, and so I pruned the dead leaves off and it seems to help the plant some. And it still has flowers. It's mid-October almost, and it's still having flowers, so I don't know, maybe I'll have another batch of tomatoes. It's possible. But this is usually what they look like. A tomato on a drying out stalk here. So I'm going to go ahead and pick that one, because if I don't pick it now, it'll probably dry up and fall off. Here's another one. And this one. I think I'll leave that one for a little bit. And this one here, I eventually just cut it back because it never was producing anything. It was just producing a bunch of flowers. This is my other tomato plant. I'm going to see if it will survive the winter. It's possible. I still have a lot of lemons on my lemon trees. And I have a lot of basil too. The basil is doing really well. At the very top is where the flowers start, and you have to pick off the flowers. Otherwise, it limits the growth of the leaves. Here's one right here. That is going to be flowers, so you have to pick it off, otherwise it will stop growing. All its energy would go into the flower. And here's some little flowers I have to pluck off. And this is the plant that I grew from seed. That's doing pretty well. This is my other rosemary, and it's starting to die back. And that is the time. Yeah, I still get some pretty rose blooms. Yep, so that is my side yard update for today.